Thank you for joining me to this live webinar. Today we are looking at how to use the Solafide online platform. I'll take you through every step so that you have a proper understanding. Now, the first step for you to get onto Solafide online is to go to solafideonline.com. Once you get to solafideonline.com, you create an account. Solafide Online gives you the potential to manage multiple businesses. So that's one major advantage. Now, looking at the Solafide Online system, we start by looking at the sidebar. On the sidebar, we have the entity dashboard. Basically, the default we learn on the dashboard. We're able to track your activities real time. So then next to it, we have quick action. Now for the quick action, the first thing you want to look at is if you're coming for the first time, you won't basically go to creating invoices. You need to come to products or services depending on the nature of the business that you run. So if you run a product-based business, you may go to products. If you go to products, you have this interface. Now, if you look at this interface, there are a lot of things that you need to take note of. First, you can import. So I can create a new, I can import the stock transactions, where transiting stocks, can create a bill. So there's a lot that you can do just in this interface. So if I'm to create a new product, I just come to create a new product and I'm expected. Now, once creating a new product, maybe I want to say sugar, and maybe it's measured, just we measure it in bags. Category, maybe bread, just as an example. Cost price, maybe 750. Sales price, 1,000. Now, that's primary information that you are expected to input. But then, other information that's useful is maybe the price. We've already done that. If you want to have a discount, you can put it here. If this is a taxable product, you can put your tax here. We have stock. Maybe you want to have minimum. Minimum is 5, maximum is 15. You can do that. You have to activate maybe expiring. They should track expiring date. Each product expire after 30 days. So if I say if you expire after I put 30, it means anytime I buy a product, it'll be tracking. So you can do that. So we have accounting. This is because Solafide is based on OHADA accounting. What happens is that your transactions are auto-configured, but you can always customize. So we have your inventory, we'll be tracking the inventory account, which is account 33311. Then we have your sales, we track at 7011. And we have purchase of goods, which we track at 6011 account. For those verse we had that they can best understand. But you could always take on customize and change this to the right accounts that you want. If I come here, I can change the sales so within the region, out of the region, and so on and so forth. Maybe in the internet. So those are different possibilities that account 7 can take on. So you need to know exactly so you can configure that. Otherwise, you go with your default and everything will still be good. Once you're done, you can save and save it. We've saved that. Now you save it, and so we can also import. If I go to import, this interface gives me the possibility to import my products. So I can import my products directly into the system. And if I come here, if I click here, They will take me to where I have products in the system. I can input as many products as possible, but the process is basically guided. For if let me just see if I have some products here, I can import maybe products. So product samples. So can preview that. Takes sometimes depending on how many products you have. Everything's okay. I take import and my products are imported. So I'm good to go because I have just a few. But we don't take longer if you have so many products that you want to input or to import. So the best suggestion is that if you already have your products in an Excel sheet, then preferably you import them. Now, now we already have our products in. So with our products in, what should we do? Now, the first thing is that may need to order the products. So that's where purchase order comes in. Or use stock transactions too. For instance, if I take stock transaction, I maybe want to just indicate that this is what I have, this is the quantity, and so I have the possibility. This is if I take the sugar that we just imported or created. So if typing, it may take some time if you're typing for the first time. So I already have sugar here, and so since I brought in sugar, there was already sugar there. But I can say maybe 10. So they'll calculate the price and give us, and you can save it and let me say save and exit. They'll ask you if you want to save. Yes. Now to help in the accounting, have you already paid for? If you say no, or how much have you paid for so far? If it's still zero, then it will be treated as credit. If you say maybe 5,000, then part of it will be treated as credit. So basically, it's bringing in some level of intelligence to the system to be able to guide you with what you're doing. So that has been added into our stocks. Now, the first thing that you cannot sell what you don't have. Now, once that has been done, we do not go through the purchase approach. I can come now back to my invoices. So I want to create an invoice to this product. So I have two possibilities. I can create an invoice as a credit invoice or a cash sales. And so if I want to do a cash sales, I come to POS. POS here is specifically designed for fast sales. You want to sell anything, you are doing it very fast, then using POS becomes the most ideal. And so in the POS, we have maybe we want to sell our product now, the sugar that we just created or just import it. Type it here again. If you're typing it, you may be typing for the first time sugar. So it's a mistake. I think I did not spell. So, excuse me. Sugar. It, let me take a check a different product and see. So since that one is not forthcoming, I can take these products that I have here. As you just click on the product, it populates here. You can increase the number. If you saw one, you can increase this number. And so I may want to see details of what I've done. So it gives you that possibility for us to see and add. Maybe I want to add discount, 5% discount. And maybe I want to add tax, 19.25. I assume that all the products are taxable. If you add that, it will be added here. I can add some more products. If I add more products, you can click here and see So these are my products. You can always amend the quantity as you so on. So they go to pay. Now the system automatically pays, and for the system tries to be intelligent enough, this is your bill, automatically calculated. You think that you may take either this might be given 42,700, 43,000, 44,000, 45,000. That's the possibilities or exact amount. So if we are given 47,000, our balance to give the person is 85, and we can validate the transaction. Now that transaction goes through successfully, and we are good to go. Let's check. Still taking a little bit more longer than it should, but yes, because there's validation error. So the validator discovered that maybe there's an error with my products. That's why we see the transactions prevented. Now, you can, if you're working in a supermarket, there's room for you to have the second screen. So this is the second screen. And the second screen, you see the product, you see how much needs to be paid, the change that is to that product that needs to be given back. So that is how you are able to. Now, I think cost of goods should be where I have an issue. Maybe the products I create did not have cost of goods. And so the system prevents that from going through. Now I go now, still here, I can click. I have possibility to manage my POS, which is may add a new branch, may add new products, may add a new customer, see my list of customers, see my current invoices, suppliers, and many more things that are possible. Or I just want to have my reports. I can have my Z reports, that's end of day report, and the system will give me that. Now, I also have depending on what module you're using, but I can go back to my dashboard by clicking there and coming. So this is my report. I've not done any transaction today, so the report, which is a daily kind of report, is empty. But if I go back, maybe to some previous days, I may see that I have some transactions that I can use or some data there. Now, while the system is taking, I think there is something loading, making my laptop to a bit slow. So I have it here. So now, the next thing, like I said, we're under invoices. I may take. I go back to, that was using the PS. I can come here. If I come here now, here you have POS, sales invoice, estimate purchase order is just another quick way. Payments, bills, new journals. So here you may want to have a client here whose name is Mr. Henry. I can click on Mr. Henry and which product do I want to sell to Mr. Henry. I can give this. You can also give the sugar. The sugar is just one keep. Or we get, so you can see so many others. I'll just take this so that we have more. Now again, can ask the tax 0.25 and you are able to, so that is your bill. If you click here, that's it, and saving, save and exit, save and print, save and new, depends on which next best action you want to be taken. Now, here on the invoice detail page, we have the name. We want to filter this. Let's say we want to filter this. I have the name, the amount, the balance due, and so I can review. So send for review. You can send it for review. Now, send for review comes in if you're working in an organization and there are so many levels of approval. So you may need to send that for review first. After review, you approve it and post it. Again, it has been approved and posted. So I can open here and see details of it. You can attach a payment plan. You can send an email. If this customer has an email, I can send an email to the customer. Or I can export as PDF for all I want. So you can export it as PDF. So this is our sales invoice. Again, details of the organization will be populated here. This your sales is a normal head office and so on and so forth. I see the details, amount paid, and every outstanding balance. Now you can customize this, add logos, add watermark, remove watermark, send to the left, send to the right, centralize, change colors, different designs. Now that to an extent depends on the plan that you have within the Solafide system, but you can customize and choose whatever format and colors, what should be presented, should not be presented as this system is concerned. Now we come back. What about payment? So you can receive payment either in part, or we are receiving full payment. We are receiving it to maybe our cash or electronic account. Maybe let's just use cash. I take receive payment. So then, so that payment has been done. So if you want to get a receipt to that payment, you can come to invoices and you check here. You should be expected to see the receipt to that payment that's been automatically generated. So this is the receipt. And you can still get detail of it. You can void it, you can delete it. This is our receipt. We can print it. Maybe I want to per page. I'll just click here and print out my receipt saying that this receipt is for the payment invoice this at this particular time by this. The money was received by who? And it goes back to what we have been discussing in this channel. Our objective is transparency, accountability, structured workflow, visibility, and audit trail so that you are able to have all you need at any point in time. Now, that is exactly our goal as a company, or some of the objectives that we want to see when we're guiding organizations to go through this process. Now, again, we're looking at this, trying to make sure that the user have a system that is easy to use and transparent so that whilst you're using it, you don't have issues at any point in time. So that is our core desire. Now, again, just to say that Solafide is built to make us have the best that we so desire. Yes, and you have a system that handles the transactions in a very professional way and to prevent errors. Now, if you go again, we have the billing or quotations. You may also want to maybe issue quotations from the system. If I come here, I already have, but if I want to issue a new quotation, I just go to add this plus button. I'll do an estimate. So here, I want to say that water project. That maybe that's the name of the water project for ABC. And so again, we give away with this. Date valid until how long is the project valid? The 30th payment term is 20%, start, and the rest later. And I take create. So that has been created. This has been created, but at the second, this way you add your items. So maybe that items are associated with this. You type them here, and you're able to maybe select whatsoever you want. You need 10, about 12, Bavaria needs 15. And so as you're calculating, the prices automatically, and you can even have your profit margins. I can save this and exit. So I've saved that. And so I retain the possibility to, I can always edit, I can export to PDF again. And so once we export to PDF, you'll see that this is how we call it a pro forma invoice to share to your potential supplier or client, depending on whatever you're trying to achieve. So, and it gives you information about the customer, excuse me, and minimal, the terms and everything. And so you see that this project that we want to undertake, our profit margin, gross profit margin is at 28.86%. This is quite useful, and you can judge whether that percentage is okay or not for you. You can mark as review. There's again a workflow to follow. You can basically mark that as review. And once I mark as review, I'll be able to leave it. And so there is that workflow approach that can export as Excel, can export as CSV, Excel, or PDF, so on. And I can send it to the client. I can update it. So it gives you also room to update. Maybe I want to update it again. Maybe it was Solafide, just as an instance. Let's update that, you save and exit. Excuse me. So you can generate your invoices. That's true. Now the next thing that we are looking at, again, you may sell something and then bring it back. Then you'll be expected to issue a credit note. A credit note basically is a document that reverses a transaction or a sales transaction. So I saw something and they brought it back, so I will need to reverse that particular sale. So that's the essence of a credit note. And you can have one. Then next to it, I have recurring invoices. So our system gives you room to maybe create some invoices that you know that maybe the payment is to be received every end of month and so on. Maybe and there's also this work approval, maybe monthly subscription like internet, monthly internet bills that we are receiving. So from working, if there's a template, you can use that. And so start date, start when it starts and end, and the starting period, maybe go back a bit. And do you want that should Yes. You want to issue auto post? Yes. Enable? Yes. If you do so want, you can do that, provided you fill in all the information that is required or mandatory fields. You should be able to set that. So at the end of the period, you just come, the one that's are active, you find them listed, you can approve, and it will go into your records. Still there, we have aging reports, payment plans, or batch invoices. If there's an action you want to perform to multiple invoices at a time, you'll use batch invoices so that you're able to perform that action. Then we have payment plans. You may also want to schedule a payment plan similar to recurring invoices. Invoice factoring might not be very common among us, but it is possible. You have an invoice and you want somebody to pay for it and collect the money later, maybe 2% discount. Excuse me. Excuse me. So that is basically what we see. Now, you also have the possibility to register your customers and your suppliers within the system. So I can just come here and I say I have my customer. I click on customer and I have this form here. I can add my customer. The customer form gives the name. Maybe I say CPA Limited. Just an example. Moliko Buya, or Moliko Cameroon Buya. Start with region, and we don't have contacts. Maybe there's some credit limits. Any additional information you may want to attach for sake of better understanding, you can do that. Save and go to a list, save and exit, and so on. So that has saved. And we see our list of clients. A similar form for suppliers, so we might not necessarily go there. And then we come to after supplier product and services, we have already seen it. Categories, you can come here and add your categories. For instance, you're selling products that can be grouped like soft drinks. You can add it there. Soft drinks, we can add um, alcohol and things like that. And unit of measurement, this is very important if you are selling things that have, for instance, if I'm selling books, I can sell a single book, I can sell in a cartoon, I can sell things like rims, and so on and so forth. You need to add it so that as you're selling, the conversion is done accordingly. So you can either sell as a rim, a cartoon, and so on. And your inventory or your stock still stays exactly as it should be because you have done that conversion, giving you the room to sell at different prices. Now, the next to this